Hi folks, welcome to this video on the accounting process. You'll recall from class the accounting process has three major steps. Step 1 is transaction analysis. Step 2 records the transactions using the debit-credit framework. And Step 3 summarizes the transactions by posting them to T accounts, which we can use to create the balance sheet. So let's begin with our example. You see here we've got Shelley Webster. She started a web design business on December the 1st, 2015. And we've given you some transactions that happened during the month of December in Shelley's business. You can see here in A, she had a shareholder invest in her business. She also borrowed some money from the bank. We can see to run her business, she bought some equipment in C, and in D, she purchased and received some supplies on credit. So we're going to have to deal with the credit aspect of it. You can see in E, in the month of December, she also signed a contract to do some web design for a customer, but she's not going to do the website development until next month, which is January 2016. So we'll have to talk about E and C, how we want to handle that when we do our transaction analysis. Again, we know she had some debt, so she's paying them down in F, some of them. She buys some more supplies. And then she bought a little more equipment, okay, which she paid in cash and put some on account. And then she also ordered a server so that she can house her data, and that order that she placed indicated that the server would be received next month. So we'll have to talk about how we're going to handle I as well. So now, let's continue with this example and see how we would take all of these transactions from A to I and how we would analyze them in our first step, transaction analysis. So we can see here that Shelley had some investors give her $10,000. They're now investors in the business. So we have to take each of these transactions, and as part of our step 1 transaction analysis, we have to determine what accounts are affected. Are the accounts getting bigger or smaller? If they're getting bigger, they're going up. If they're getting smaller, they're going down. And are those accounts assets, liabilities, or shareholders' equity accounts? Don't forget the purpose for which we're doing this is to ensure that the balance sheet equation stays in balance in each transaction. So we need to make sure that that happens. All right, so we're going to use the transaction analysis to confirm that, because if each item line by line is in balance, we'll get a balanced balance sheet. So let's go back to our first transaction where we said the shareholders invested $10,000 in the business. So what accounts are affected? Well, if you're getting money in the business, cash has got to be going up. And if cash goes up, right? We know it's cash. We know it's getting bigger because we're getting money, and we know cash is an asset. So you'll notice here when we're doing the transaction analysis, we're approaching it in a little bit of a different way. We're listing all of the accounts on the top and putting them into their proper classification as assets, liabilities, or shareholders' equity. So we know the accounts affected here are cash and contributed capital, and both are going up. So cash is getting bigger, so a plus, and contributed capital is getting bigger, so that's a plus. So what happens? Well, we know cash is an asset. We know contributed capital is shareholders' equity. Notice that when the left side of the equality goes up, the right side went up. So the accounting equation or balance sheet equation stays in balance with this transaction. Now, the other thing we noticed is that we also had a note payable here, right? So it said here we borrowed $15,000 using a note payable to the bank, and it was due in 2 years. So what does that mean? That means that we got $15,000, right, in cash. So cash is affected, and don't forget we got to pay the bank back. So we've got a note payable, specifically a long-term note. We know the note payable is going up, and we know a note payable is a liability. So again, we see that the left-hand side, the asset side, went up by $5,000, and the right-hand side, the liabilities, went up by $15,000, I should say. So that means assets went up by $15,000, liabilities went up by $15,000, so our balance sheet equation is in balance. Now let's look and see what happened with the other transaction, which is C. We purchased $5,000 worth of equipment using cash. So what happened? Well, cash is affected because we used up cash, and equipment's affected. So what happened? Well, our account is cash. Cash went down because we paid out cash to buy the equipment. Our equipment account, it's an asset, and it went up. So again, our equipment account went up. It's an asset. Our cash account went down. Cash is an asset, so we have one asset going down by $5,000 and one going up by $5,000. So at net, the left-hand side of the equality, technically, in terms of the net asset balance, hasn't changed because an asset went down for $5,000 and an asset went up for $5,000. So the net effect on the asset side is zero, and there were no liability and shareholders' equity accounts affected, so we're good. Now let's look at the next transaction. It said that we purchased and received $300 worth of supplies on credit. So now what accounts are affected? Well, the accounts affected are supplies, and we bought on credit, so that's an account payable. So are the supplies account going up or down? Well, we're getting supplies, so it's going up. And what about your accounts payable? It's also going up, right? And are the accounts assets, liabilities, or shareholders' equity accounts? Well, supplies is an asset. It's going up $300. We determined that up here. Accounts payable is a liability. So it's on the liability side, and it's going up because we bought it on credit. So you can see assets are going up $300 and liabilities are going up $300. So when we look at it in relationship to the balance sheet equation, the left-hand side of the equal sign goes up by $300 and the right-hand side goes up by $300. So the balance sheet equation stays in balance. Let's now look at the fifth transaction. And there it says that the company signed a contract for website design for $10,000, but it's not going to be performed until next month. Well, signing a contract and not providing any services, you're not getting any money, so there's been no cash received, there's been no services performed, nothing's happened here. So that's not a transaction because nothing's happened. All you did is sign a contract and you never took anything for it. You just said, we'll do it next month. So E is no transaction. Now what happens in F? F says we paid $300 of the accounts payable from Part D. So now let's go and handle that transaction. So now, what accounts are affected here? Well, you would definitely be affecting your cash because you're paying down an account payable, right? So cash is affected and accounts payable is affected. Why? Because you're paying down the account payable, right? So is the account balance going up or down? Well, cash has got to be going down because I'm using cash to pay off my account payable. My account payable has also got to be going down because I'm paying off a debt. So what happens? When your cash goes down, cash is an asset. When an asset goes down, we have your cash going down by $300, and accounts payable we know is a liability, and it's going down by $300. So what do you see? The left-hand side of the equation goes down by $300. The right-hand side of the equation goes down by $300, so the equation stays in balance, right? Now what happens? Next transaction says that the company paid for and received $600 worth of supplies. So what accounts are affected in our transaction analysis? Well, we know that cash is affected because we paid in cash according to the question, and we also know that supplies are affected because that's what we're getting. So how does this affect the accounting equation? Well, are the accounts going up or down? So we know that cash is going down because we're paying cash to get the supplies, and we know supplies are going up because we're getting supplies. So now, what type of accounts are cash and supplies? Well, none of them are liabilities or shareholders' equity. They're both asset accounts. So what do we have? We have assets going down, okay, because cash is an asset and it's going down. And we also have supplies going up, and supplies is an asset. So does the accounting equation remain in balance? Yes, it does, because we have assets like cash going down by 600, and we have another asset, supplies, going up by 600. So the net effect on assets is 0. And you'll notice there were no liability and shareholders' equity accounts affected. So the net effect on the left side is 0 because they cancel each other out, and the net effect on the right-hand side is 0 because we never had a liability or shareholders' equity accounts affected. So that means the accounting equation or balance sheet equation remains in balance. Let's look at the next transaction. The next one said the company purchased and received $1,000 worth of equipment. They paid $200 in cash, and the balance they put on account. So they're going to pay the rest of it later. So now what's affected? Note that here we're going to have 3 accounts affected. Which ones are they? Well, don't forget, you got equipment. So equipment is an account affected. You paid for it partially in cash. So cash is affected. And the next account that's affected is accounts payable because you're going to pay the difference or the balance later. So now what's happening to these accounts? Is the cash account going up or down? Well, cash is going down. Why? Because you are going to pay $200 right off the bat. Your equipment account is going up because that's the cost of your equipment. And again, you said you'd pay the rest later, so it's going on account. So your accounts payable account or your debts are going up. So we've got equipment going up, cash going down, and we've got accounts payable going up. So let's see what it looks like in our transaction analysis worksheet. We've got cash going down, and we know cash is an asset. So we've got the asset cash going down by 200, the amount we paid. We also said we have equipment coming in. Equipment is an asset, and it's going up by 1,000. We've also got a liability affected because there's $800 of that $1,000 worth of equipment that we bought that we're not going to pay for right now. We're going to pay it later. So that liability has now gone up by 800. And what do you see? You see here that the left-hand side of the equation, the asset side at net, has gone up by 800. Equipment went up by 1,000 and cash went down by 200. So at net, assets go up by 800. You can see here on the right-hand side, liabilities went up by 800. So the left side goes up by 800 and the right side goes up by 800. So the balance sheet equation remains in balance. So now, what's the last thing we see here? If we go back up here, our last item here, we ordered a $9,000 server and it's going to be delivered next month. Again here, a little tricky, there's no transaction. Why? All you did was place an order. You never got the server yet. So there's been nothing received, nothing paid for. All you did was place an order. While it's a legitimate business transaction, it doesn't affect the accounting equation. So here we're going to say no transaction. So now, what's the next thing we would do here? This is different from the way we've done some aspects of the transaction analysis in some cases in our course to date because we've listed all the accounts affected up top and classified them according to whether or not they're assets, liabilities, or equity. All we have to do here now, which is going to help us, is to add up all the pluses and minuses in each account. And we can now come up with what I would call a total balance. So this is now going to give us the total. So if we add up all the pluses and minuses here, don't forget no transaction has no impact on the account balance, you'll see that our cash balance is $18,900. If we add up the two items here in the equipment when we bought it 2 different times, we have an equipment balance of $6,000. Here are supplies. We bought supplies twice during the month. Our supplies balance is going to be $900. That's the note payable is the money we borrowed from the bank. It's $15,000. We had accounts payable. We incurred accounts payable. We paid some off, and then we incurred some more toward the end of the month. So we now have a balance of $800. And we have contributed capital when our investors invested in the business, and that balance hasn't changed. It remains $10,000. So what do you see? You now have your totals here for all of your accounts, and you can use these later to help you prepare your balance sheet. So this concludes our first video to give you an example of how to do step 1 in the accounting process, which is to take transactions and analyze them and see or ensure that the balance sheet equation remains in balance. So I hope you found this video helpful.